Good afternoon and welcome to another edition of Minutes with Mr. Mesnerich. Before we begin today, I just want you to notice I'm holding a root beer float. One of our many clubs here at the high school, our Relay for Life Club, is doing their fundraiser to raise money for our Relay for Life event. Very popular here at the high school for only $2. Kids can get root beer floats. That will be on Tuesdays, obviously today, but they will be selling root beer floats again on Friday. So if you want to send $2 with your child to support a great cause, it would be greatly appreciated. A couple of things I just want to highlight from the high school before we introduce our guest today. First off, obviously, I want to wish everybody viewing this today a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Kids, staff, everybody here is pretty excited. We have our Christmas break coming up. The students' last day of school will be Friday, December 22nd. So students will have a full day of school on Friday, December 22nd. And we will return to school on Wednesday, January 2nd. So it's going to be maybe a little different than some of our neighboring districts, but kids return to class Wednesday, January 2nd. So we hope everybody has a very safe and joyous break. Next up, I just wanted to give you a heads up. More information will be coming, but when we return from Christmas break, we will begin our scheduling process here at the high school. Hard to believe it will be January and we will already be talking about scheduling for the 2018-19 school year. But we'll have more information on later podcasts, but I just wanted to let you know January is when we will start our scheduling process, so be looking for information from your kids. Next up, also coming up a little bit later in the winter in February, we are going to be doing our school-wide PBIS celebration, our Winter Activity Day. Right now we're planning that for February 16th. It's a Friday. That Monday the 19th we have off from school. It will be President's Day, but I want to put it out there. We'll mention it a few more times. We do a lot of great activities for our kids, and I just really want to encourage you parents to work with your child. Have them come do an activity here at school. We run about 60% participation, and it's a great time for the kids, and I really encourage you and your child to participate with us. Now, as I introduce my guest is going to be Mr. Schmidt. He's the principal at Cameron Middle School. First, one of the things that we've had, especially fall, not so much because a lot of our events are outside, football games, cross-country meets, that sort of thing. But now going into the winter, we have a large number of basketball games, both high school and middle school, as well as traveling. We have wrestling. But more importantly, all of our winter sporting events are housed inside, so either between the high school or the high school. So we wanted to talk just a few minutes about our behavior expectations for kids here at the high school and the middle school during our activities. So if it's okay with you, Mr. Schmidt, if I start at the high school? Or?
Absolutely.
All right. As far as at the high school goes, our three expectations district-wide, be responsible, be respectful, and be safe, all hold true for our athletic events. At the high school, we don't have supervision after school. We have allowed students to remain in school if they're waiting for an evening event, as long as they are remaining in the commons, they're quiet, they're not being disruptive, they're working on their homework, that sort of thing. For the most part, our high school kids have been really good. We have been noticing, however, more recently that kids are going to different parts of the building, not just at the high school, but also leaving the high school, going to the middle school. So, the expectation, the high school is kind of the place in the commons where you can hang out while you're waiting for those events, but we don't want any students walking around in the different locker areas, the locker room areas, especially when we have visiting teams there. We don't want any high school students walking around in the middle school anytime after hours because, like I said, there isn't that supervision. And not that we've had problems, but the opportunity is there, and we want to really minimize those. So how are the expectations a little different at the middle school?
Thanks, John. So expectations at the middle school, we do on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays offer homework help, which is actually at the high school. Otherwise, after school at the middle school, unless you're a part of an after-school event or an activity, you should be riding the bus or walking home. If you are getting that homework help on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at the high school, we ask that after the homework help is done at 4 o'clock, If you have an older sibling, you stay if you need to. Otherwise, you get a ride home or you walk home at 4 o'clock. There's really no other reason to be in the halls or in the building after 3:25 at the middle school. And being that we don't have supervision after 3:25 directly for kids, unless they're part of an after-school activity, they really should be home.
Okay, so parents, if you could help out as best you can with that, I know we would appreciate it. We just want it to be a safe, fun environment for all of our kids and our visiting athletes and our home athletes as well. So,
thank you, John.
Yep, thank you for that. Since this is Mr. Schmidt's inaugural appearance here
Yes.
on our presentation, he's going to start something very similar to what we do here at the high school, just to give middle school updates. I'm not sure if he's going to have as catchy of a name as we have for ours, but
we're working on it.
We'll see. He'll come up with something.
My catch line.
I'll go ahead and I'll turn the stage over, and you can give some update information about the middle school.
Well, I've got 3 more things I'd like to talk about besides the after-school activities. I'm also going to talk with you today about our lost and found here at the Cameron Middle School, as well as parents or guardians, how you might help your child stay a little bit more organized and stay on top of what they might have for homework or things that should be coming home. So first of all, our lost and found. We have a box at the Cameron Middle School which is stored, which is housed in our middle school gymnasium. And right when you walk in the entrance of the gymnasium, you'll see that box on the right-hand side. We've been going through that box about every 2 weeks and trying to bag up and collect different items. So please remind your child if they're missing something or if they've lost something to check in our lost and found. After about 2 weeks, every 2 weeks, we get rid of the items there. Some things we wash and we reuse. Other things we wash and take to Goodwill. The next thing I'd like to talk about is just how you can help your child as we get through the middle of the school year and all the holiday times that can be busy with organization. The first thing that you can do every day is check your student's planner. And it's a pretty easy thing to do. Each one of your child's teachers will write on their whiteboard at the end of the day what they have for homework. So you can remind your child each day at the end of each class that they should be writing out in their planner what they have for work. Another good strategy to use is to have your child highlight in their planner what is still needed to do when they get home. So when you get home from work and your child is home from school and you open up their assignment notebook, anything that's highlighted, those are items that will still need to be worked on. A couple other pretty good strategies to use for organization and homework help is to have a designated spot in your house where that planner will be set every night. A lot of parents like it to be the dining room table or perhaps a countertop near the door so that when the child gets home, they can set that planner in that spot. When you get home, you know the planner is going to be there, and whether they have homework or not that night, every night they should leave their planner there. A simple glance through the planner and signing your name at the bottom also lets the teacher know that you looked at it and understand what was due for the day. And as always, if you're having trouble with your child filling out their planner, let myself or your homeroom teacher know. You can call us at 715-458-5810 or give me an email and I'll help get your child to fill out their planner. A final thing, if you've not already done so, which I think most of you have, is sign up and log on to Skyward. That is the way that we schedule conferences, and so I think most of you have become pretty efficient with our Skyward system. But if you check that daily or even every other day, you'll be able to see an updated list of homework that your child might have. You can also see their grades and how they're doing in school. So those are just a couple tips as we get into the busy holiday season of ways to help your child be organized and get their homework done. Thank you very much for taking the time out